Lisa Green had been a nurse at Chicago Children's Memorial Hospital for 12 years. She loved her job more than anything. Today was just like any other Tuesday. She had checked on little Sam Miller first thing in the morning. The 8-year-old boy had been fighting leukemia for 2 years, but he always greeted Lisa with a bright smile that could light up the whole ward. "Good morning, Nurse Lisa," Sam said, his thin face beaming despite the IV lines running into his arm. "Good morning, Sam. How are you feeling today?" Lisa adjusted his pillows and checked his vital signs on the monitor beside his bed. "Better. Mom says maybe I can go to the garden later if my counts are good." Lisa smiled. Sam's optimism never wavered, even on his worst days. She made a note to check his latest lab results and moved on to her other patients. By noon, Lisa had settled into her routine, distributing medications, checking vitals, and making sure each child was comfortable. She was updating charts at the nurse's station when she first heard the strange sound. It started as a low hum, barely noticeable beneath the normal hospital noises. Then it grew louder, a deep vibration that made the windows rattle. Nurse Dan, Flores, looked up from his computer. "What's that?" Lisa walked to the window. The sky had turned an odd shade of orange-purple, like nothing she had ever seen before. And there, hovering above the city skyline, was something massive and dark. "Is that—" Dan stopped mid-sentence. The object was clearly not from Earth. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent quality that reminded Lisa of beetle shells. It was shaped like a giant arrowhead, pointing directly at downtown Chicago. Phones started ringing throughout the hospital. Emergency alerts blared from computers and cell phones simultaneously. On the television in the waiting area, a news anchor looked panicked as she reported that similar objects had appeared over major cities worldwide. "We need to move the children," Lisa said, snapping into emergency protocol mode. "Get the evacuation. Carts ready." She hadn't even finished her sentence when the first beam of light shot down from the ship. It hit a building about a mile away, vaporizing the top floors instantly. Screams erupted throughout the hospital. "This isn't happening," Dan whispered, frozen in place. Lisa grabbed his arm. "Dan, focus. We need to get the kids out now." The hospital emergency system activated, with automated announcements directing staff to begin evacuation procedures. Lisa rushed back to her ward, her heart pounding. She had to get to Sam and the other children. When she reached Sam's room, he was sitting up in bed, eyes wide with fear. "Nurse Lisa, what's happening?" "We need to go somewhere safe, honey," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. She quickly disconnected his IV, wrapped him in a blanket, and lifted him into her arms. "We're going to play a game. It's called Super Quiet Escape. Can you be really quiet while I carry you?" Sam nodded, clutching his stuffed dinosaur to his chest. In the hallway, doctors and nurses were moving quickly, preparing other children for transport. Lisa caught glimpses of the chaos outside through the windows. People running, cars crashing, and that terrible ship still hovering above them. Then she heard the words that made her blood run cold. "They're targeting hospitals," Dr. Martinez was shouting into his phone. "Yes, children's hospitals, specifically London, Tokyo, Sydney, all reporting direct hits on pediatric centers." The ship above them emitted another beam, this one striking a building just blocks away. The hospital lights flickered and dust fell from the ceiling. Lisa made a split-second decision. The standard evacuation routes would take too long. "Dan," she called out, "the service elevator to the basement, then through the maintenance tunnels." Dan nodded, already wheeling 2 small children on a gurney toward the service area. Other staff quickly followed his lead. They had almost reached the elevator when the first direct hit struck the east wing of the hospital. The building shuddered violently. Ceiling tiles crashed down around them. The lights went out completely, replaced seconds later by dim emergency lighting. Lisa sheltered Sam with her body as debris fell around them. "Keep going," she shouted to the others. In the basement, they gathered with other staff and patients. Lisa counted 12 children from her ward, plus about 30 more from other areas. Not enough. There were over 200 children in the hospital. "The east wing is gone," a security guard reported, his face ash gray. "Direct hit. They're They're just gone. Lisa felt her knees weaken but forced herself to stay standing. Sam was trembling in her arms. The maintenance tunnels connect to the subway system, Dr. Martinez said. We need to move deeper underground. As they organized the children for movement, the hospital's emergency radio crackled to life. A military broadcast was cutting through on all frequencies. This is a worldwide emergency alert. Earth is under attack by an unknown alien force. Hostiles are specifically targeting medical facilities for children. Repeat, they are targeting children's hospitals and schools. All surviving personnel should evacuate with any children to underground shelters immediately. Jack Howard was 30 miles outside the city when the attacks began. He had just finished his shift at the construction site and was driving home to see his daughter Emma. She had been at Children's Memorial for a routine checkup. Nothing serious, just monitoring. The asthma she'd had since birth. His phone rang. It was his wife, Karen. Jack. Her voice was hysterical. Turn around, don't come to the hospital. There are ships, they're attacking the city. What? Karen? Slow down. What ships? Aliens, Jack. It's on every channel. They're attacking. Cities all over the world, and they're hitting the children's hospital right now. I'm stuck in traffic trying to get there. Jack's blood turned to ice. Emma is in there. He slammed on the accelerator, swerving around cars that had stopped on the highway. On the horizon, he could see the strange light over Chicago and the dark shape above it. Jack didn't make it to the hospital in time. The entire East Wing, where Emma had her appointment, was nothing but smoke and rubble when he arrived. He abandoned his truck 3 blocks away and ran the rest of the distance, pushing through crowds of panicked people fleeing in the opposite direction. Police barricades stopped him from getting closer. An officer had to physically restrain him. My daughter's in there, Jack shouted, struggling against the officer's grip. Sir, nobody survived that hit, I'm sorry. Jack fell to his knees on the pavement, watching as another beam struck a different part of the city. In the sky above, the alien ship emitted a deep, pulsing sound that seemed to vibrate through his bones. As night fell, emergency broadcasts confirmed what many had already guessed. The attacks were happening worldwide, and children's hospitals had been the primary targets. No one knew why. 3 days later, the aliens finally spoke. Their message was broadcast on all frequencies, in all languages simultaneously. Your species' compassion for defective offspring is evolutionary inefficiency. This weakness will be corrected. And that was just the beginning. 2 weeks passed since the initial attacks. The aliens, who called themselves the Vreen, had established control zones in every major city. They built tall, shimmering structures that looked like giant wasp nests made of metal. From these bases, they sent out flying machines that patrolled the streets. Lisa Green and the children she had saved lived in an old subway tunnel beneath Chicago. About 50 people had joined their group, mostly hospital staff and a few parents who had been visiting when the attack happened. Little Sam Miller was still with them. His leukemia treatments had been interrupted, but surprisingly, he seemed stronger than before. His blood work is showing some unusual changes, Dr. Martinez told Lisa one evening as they shared a can of beans. I don't understand it. It's almost like his immune system is rebuilding itself. Lisa looked across the makeshift camp to where Sam sat playing cards with 2 other children. Is it something the aliens did, some kind of radiation? I don't know, but he's not the only one. The other kids who were already sick, they're all showing improvement. Their conversation was interrupted when the lookout signaled someone was coming through the tunnel. Everyone tensed, ready to run deeper into the darkness. But it was a familiar face, Dan Flores, who had gone out on a supply run 2 days ago. You need to see this, Dan said, breathing hard from running. He handed Lisa a small tablet computer. On the screen was a man with a weathered face and hard eyes. He wore what looked like parts of a military uniform mixed with civilian clothes. My name is Jack Howard, the man said. If you're seeing this, you're part of the resistance. The aliens who attacked us, the Vreen, have a weakness. We need your help to exploit it. If you have children with you, especially sick children, they may be the key to our survival. The message went on to explain that Jack was working with a scientist named Dr. Alan Carpenter. They had been studying the Vreen and had discovered something important about their biology. "We need to meet these people," Lisa said after the video ended. "It's risky," Dr. Martinez warned. "We'd have to cross 3 patrol zones." "I'll go," Lisa decided. "Sam and I." The message specifically mentioned sick children. The next morning, Lisa and Sam prepared to leave. She had memorized the coordinates from Jack's message. Dr. Martinez gave her a small kit with medical supplies and their precious remaining antibiotics. "Be careful," he told her. "We need you both back." Lisa and Sam traveled through the abandoned subway tunnels for miles. When they had to emerge above ground, Lisa wrapped Sam in a dark blanket and carried him, moving only at night. Twice they had to hide from Vreen patrol ships, pressing themselves into doorways as the alien crafts hummed overhead. On the 3rd day, they reached the location, an old water treatment plant on the outskirts of the city. Lisa approached cautiously, carrying Sam even though he insisted he could walk. "Who's there?" a voice called from the shadows. "My name is Lisa Green. I'm a nurse from Children's Memorial. I have Sam with me." He was a patient. A man stepped out, rifle pointed at them. His face matched the one from the video, Jack Howard. His eyes were red from lack of sleep, and his face was lined with grief. "How do I know you're not working for them?" he demanded. Lisa stood her ground. "The aliens bombed my hospital. I lost 32 children in my ward alone. I'm not working for anyone except the people who need me." Jack lowered his weapon slightly. His eyes focused on Sam. "The boy, he was sick?" "Leukemia," Lisa said. "But he's been improving since the attack." Jack nodded as if this confirmed something. "Come inside. Alan needs to see him." Inside the water plant, Lisa was surprised to find a well-organized base. About 20 people moved around with purpose. Some were cleaning weapons. Others were working on computers or radio equipment. In the center of the main room, a tall, thin man with glasses was studying something under a microscope. "Alan," Jack called. "They're here." Dr. Alan Carpenter looked up. When he saw Sam, his face lit up with excitement. "Extraordinary," he said. "You can feel it, can't you? The energy coming off him." Lisa pulled Sam closer protectively. "What are you talking about?" "The Vreen aren't just aliens," Dr. Carpenter explained. "They're a hive species like insects. They communicate through chemical signals and low-frequency vibrations. And children, human children, disrupt those signals. That's why they targeted hospitals and schools first," Jack added. "They knew children were a threat." "But why are sick kids getting better?" Lisa asked. Dr. Carpenter smiled. "That's the most fascinating part. Our children's bodies are adapting, producing an enzyme that's toxic to Vreen biology. The sicker they were before, the stronger the adaptation." Lisa looked down at Sam, who was watching everything with curious eyes. "So Sam is a weapon," Jack said bluntly. "A key," Dr. Carpenter corrected. "The key to fighting back." Later that night, after Sam was asleep, Lisa joined Jack outside. He was staring at the distant city skyline where alien structures now rose above familiar buildings. The message said, "You're working with the resistance," Lisa said. "Is there really an organized resistance?" Jack nodded. "Growing every day. Colonel Patricia Winters is coordinating from what's left of the military base west of here." He paused. "I lost my daughter in the first attack. Emma. She was at Children's Memorial for an asthma checkup." "I'm sorry," Lisa said softly. "After it happened, I wanted to die. Then I wanted to kill every one of those bugs. Now I just want to make sure they never hurt another child." "What's the plan?" Lisa asked. "Operation Cradle. We're setting up safe houses for children across the country. Dr. Carpenter thinks if we can harness the enzyme they produce, we might be able to create a weapon against the Vreen." "And Sam?" Jack's expression softened slightly. "Sam and kids, like him, are special. The enzyme in their blood is particularly strong. Carpenter needs to study him, but we won't hurt him, I promise." A sudden commotion interrupted them. One of the lookouts ran into the compound. Colonel Winters is on the radio. The Vreen Queen is coming to Earth. Inside, people gathered around a crackling radio. A woman's voice came through. All resistance cells, this is Colonel Winters. We have intercepted Vreen communications. Their queen is arriving within the week. This is what we've been waiting for. Begin Phase 1 preparations. I repeat, begin Phase 1. Jack turned to Lisa. Now we fight back. In the corner, Sam had woken up and was watching them. Something in his eyes had changed. He looked older somehow, wiser. I can hear them, he said quietly. The aliens, in my head, they're scared of us. Everyone in the room fell silent, staring at the small boy who might just be humanity's greatest hope. The resistance base grew more crowded as survivors from other areas joined them. More children arrived each day, many of them former patients from hospitals around the country. Dr. Carpenter worked day and night in his makeshift lab, studying blood samples from the children, especially Sam. The enzyme levels in Sam's blood are off the charts, Dr. Carpenter told Lisa and Jack one morning. His body is producing 10 times more than any of the other children. Lisa looked through the doorway where Sam sat with other children. He seemed different now, quieter, more focused. Sometimes she caught him staring into space, listening to something only he could hear. Is it hurting him? Lisa asked, worried. No, Dr. Carpenter said. If anything, it's making him stronger. His cancer is completely gone. Jack paced the small room. Can you make a weapon from it? Something we can use against the Vreen? I'm working on it, Dr. Carpenter said. But there's something else you should know. The enzyme breaks down quickly outside the body. If we want to use it effectively, we need living carriers. You mean children? Lisa said flatly. I don't like it either, Dr. Carpenter admitted. But this might be our only chance. Their conversation was interrupted when Colonel Patricia Winters arrived at the base. She was a tall woman with gray-streaked hair and a permanent crease between her eyebrows. Her uniform was dusty and torn in places, but she carried herself with authority. Howard, she nodded at Jack. Dr. Carpenter, Nurse Green, we have new intelligence. Colonel Winters spread a map on the table. The Queen's ship will arrive in 3 days. It will dock here, at the primary hive structure in downtown Chicago. Our window of opportunity will be small. What's the plan? Jack asked. A two-pronged attack, Colonel Winters explained. One team will create a diversion at the southern edge of the control zone. The second team will infiltrate the hive and deliver Dr. Carpenter's weapon directly to the Queen. If we kill the Queen, what happens to the rest of the Vreen? Lisa asked. They won't die, Colonel Winters said. But according to our intel, they'll be disoriented, vulnerable. Their hive mind depends on the Queen. Dr. Carpenter cleared his throat. The weapon isn't ready yet. I need more time. You have 48 hours, Colonel Winters said firmly. That's all we can give you. Later that day, Lisa found Sam sitting alone, drawing pictures with a stubby pencil on the back of an old flyer. What are you drawing? She asked, sitting beside him. Sam showed her the paper. It was covered with strange symbols and shapes that looked like the markings on the Vreen ships. Where did you see these? Lisa asked, concerned. In my head, Sam said simply. They talked to each other with these. He pointed to his temple. I can hear them all the time now. Lisa studied his face. Does it scare you? Sam thought for a moment. No, they're scared, not me. The aliens are scared of what? Of us, of children. Sam went back to his drawing. They don't have children like us. Their babies are all the same. If one gets sick, they throw it away and make a new one. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. Sam, can you tell what they're planning? What the Queen is going to do when she gets here? Sam nodded. She's coming to make more Vreen, lots more, and to get rid of all the children on Earth. He looked up at Lisa with serious eyes. But we can stop her. Lisa took Sam's hand. How? Tell me how we can stop her. Before Sam could answer, an alarm sounded. Everyone in the base began moving, quickly, grabbing weapons and supplies. They found us, someone shouted. Vreen patrols approaching from the east. Jack appeared at Lisa's side. Get the children to the tunnels, now! Lisa gathered Sam and the other children, leading them toward the hidden entrance to the old sewer system beneath the water plant. Behind them, she could hear gunfire and the high-pitched whine of Vreen weapons. In the tunnels, they ran until the sounds of fighting faded. Lisa counted the children. All 15 had made it out. They huddled together in the darkness, waiting. Hours later, Jack found them. His face was smudged with dirt and blood trickled from a cut on his forehead. Is everyone okay? He asked, scanning the group. Lisa nodded. All the children are safe. What happened? We lost the base, Jack said grimly, and Dr. Carpenter's lab, all his research destroyed. What about the enzyme weapon? Jack shook his head. Gone. We have to fall back to Colonel Winters' secondary base. The journey to the new base took all night. They moved carefully through the city ruins, avoiding Vreen patrols. By morning, they reached an old underground parking garage that had been converted into a resistance stronghold. Colonel Winters met them at the entrance. Her arm was in a makeshift sling and her face was grim. We lost 12 people, she said, and Dr. Carpenter is missing. Missing? Lisa asked. Not dead? We don't know. He wasn't among the bodies, and the Vreen took prisoners. Jack slammed, his fist against the wall. Without him and his research, we have no weapon. Sam, who had been quiet during the journey, suddenly spoke up. I can help. The adults looked down at him in surprise. I remember Dr. Carpenter's formula, Sam said. I watched him every day. I know how to make the medicine. Colonel Winters knelt down to Sam's level. You can recreate his work? Sam nodded. And I can make it better. I know how the Vreen think now. Lisa put her hand on Sam's shoulder. Are you sure about this, Sam? Yes. Sam's voice was steady. The Queen is coming tomorrow, not in 3 days. They changed their plans after they found our base. We don't have much time. Colonel Winters stood up. Get this boy whatever he needs. The next 24 hours were a blur of activity. Sam worked with the Resistance's medical team, explaining Dr. Carpenter's methods. Despite his young age, he spoke with surprising clarity about complex chemical processes. Lisa stayed by his side, helping where she could, but mostly watching, in amazement as the little boy she had saved from the hospital now worked to save everyone else. By nightfall, they had produced a batch of the enzyme weapon, a clear liquid that could be loaded into spray devices. According to Sam, it would disrupt the Vreen's ability to communicate with each other and cause their exoskeletons to weaken. As the Resistance fighters prepared for battle, Jack found Lisa checking on the sleeping children. Tomorrow will be dangerous, he said quietly. You should stay here with the children. Lisa shook her head. Sam needs to go. He's the only one who can sense the Queen's exact location. And I go where Sam goes. Jack nodded slowly. Then I'll be right beside you both. He looked at the sleeping children. For Emma. For all of them. Outside, the alien structures glowed against the night sky. Somewhere up there, the Queen's ship was approaching Earth. The final battle was about to begin. Dawn broke over the ruins of Chicago. The Resistance fighters gathered in the underground garage, checking weapons and adjusting their gear. Colonel Winters stood on top of an old car, addressing the group. Today we fight not just for our city or our country, but for our species, she said. The Vreen Queen arrives within hours. If we fail to stop her, Earth falls. The plan was simple but dangerous. Jack would lead the larger team to attack the southern perimeter of the Vreen control zone. This would draw their forces away from the main hive structure. Meanwhile, Colonel Winters would lead a smaller team, including Lisa and Sam, to infiltrate the hive and find the Queen. Each fighter carried spray canisters filled with the enzyme weapon Sam had helped create. They also wore special goggles Sam had designed that would protect them from the Vreen's hypnotic lights. Lisa knelt in front of Sam, adjusting his too large protective vest. You stay close to me at all times, she told him. If I say run, you run, Understand? Sam nodded. His small face was serious, but Lisa saw no fear in his eyes. I can feel the Queen, he said quietly. She's almost here. Jack approached them, his rifle slung over his shoulder. Are you sure you want to do this? Sam, we could try to find the Queen without you. You can't, Sam said simply. Only I can hear her thoughts, and she can't hear mine. Jack looked at Lisa. Something passed between them. An understanding, a shared purpose. Keep him safe, Jack said. I will, Lisa promised. Jack turned to leave, then hesitated. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small photo. It showed a smiling girl with pigtails. My daughter, Emma, he said, handing it to Sam. She would have been brave like you. Sam looked at the photo, then carefully tucked it into his own pocket. We won't let them hurt any more kids, he said. The teams moved out separately. Jack's group headed south while Colonel Winters led Lisa, Sam, and 5 others toward the heart of the alien-controlled zone. They traveled through abandoned subway tunnels, guided by Sam's uncanny sense of the Vreen positions above them. 2 patrol ships overhead, Sam would whisper. Wait, and they would freeze in place until he nodded that it was safe to continue. They emerged 3 blocks from the main hive structure, a massive tower that pulsed with eerie blue light. Vreen drones scuttled along its surface like giant insects. The Queen's ship will dock at the top, Colonel Winters said, studying the structure through binoculars. We need to get inside and climb to the upper levels. In the distance, explosions suddenly erupted along the southern perimeter. Jack's team had begun their attack. Immediately, Vreen ships and ground forces moved toward the disturbance. Now, Colonel Winters ordered, move while they're distracted. They ran toward the hive structure, keeping to the shadows. 2 Vreen guards blocked the entrance. The resistance fighters quickly took them down with silenced weapons. The enzyme spray caused the aliens to convulse and collapse, their exoskeletons cracking. Inside the structure was hot and humid. The walls seemed alive, pulsing with veins of light. Strange organic pods hung from the ceiling. This way, Sam whispered, pointing to a spiral ramp that wound upward. They climbed higher into the hive. Twice they encountered Vreen workers and had to use the enzyme spray. The higher they climbed, the fewer Vreen they saw. Most had been called to defend against Jack's attack. Something's wrong, Sam suddenly said, stopping. It's too easy. As if on cue, an alarm sounded, a high-pitched vibration that made their teeth ache. From above and below, they heard the clicking sounds of many Vreen approaching. It's a trap, Colonel Winters said. They knew we were coming. No, Sam said, eyes wide. They caught Dr. Carpenter. They learned about me from his mind. Fall back, Colonel Winters ordered. But it was too late. Vreen warriors poured from side passages, surrounding them. The resistance fighters fought bravely. The enzyme weapon worked, but there were too many Vreen. One by one, the team members fell. Soon only Colonel Winters, Lisa, and Sam remained, backed against a wall. Last canister, Colonel Winters said grimly, holding up her spray. The Vreen stopped advancing. They formed a circle, clicking and buzzing to each other. Then they parted, making way for a new figure. It was Dr. Carpenter, but changed. His skin had a greenish tint, and his eyes were completely black. When he spoke, his voice sounded wrong, like multiple voices speaking at once. The Queen wishes to see the boy, he said. Colonel Winters raised her weapon, but Dr. Carpenter made a gesture. Invisible force ripped the gun from her hands. Resistance is inefficient, he said. Sam stepped forward. I'll go, he said. Sam, no. Lisa grabbed his arm. It's okay, Sam told her. This is what's supposed to happen. He looked at the possessed Dr. Carpenter. Take me to the Queen. Dr. Carpenter smiled strangely. The others will remain here. The Vreen escorted them higher into the hive. Finally, they reached a vast chamber at the top. The ceiling was transparent, showing the dark shape of the Queen's ship docking above. In the center of the chamber floated a creature unlike the other Vreen. She was much larger, with multiple limbs and a huge, bulbous head. Her eyes, dozens of them, were fixed on Sam. The human child, the Queen spoke directly into their minds. The anomaly. Your Majesty, Dr. Carpenter bowed. As you commanded. The Queen's many eyes blinked. You have caused disruption, child. You have made others of your kind resist correction. We're not broken, Sam said. We don't need to be corrected. Your species preserves weakness, the Queen said. You protect defective offspring instead of culling them. This is why you must be governed by the Vreen. Our compassion isn't weakness, Sam replied. It's our strength. The Queen made a sound like laughter. Strength? Your hospitals for damaged children were the first targets we destroyed. How did that strength protect them? Sam reached into his pocket and pulled out the photo Jack had given him. The picture of Emma. We remember them, he said, and we fight for them. Something strange happened then. As Sam held up the photo, the Queen recoiled slightly. The other Vreen in the chamber grew agitated, clicking rapidly. What are you doing? The Queen demanded. Stop, but Sam didn't stop. His eyes closed in concentration. Around him, the air seemed to shimmer. The children you killed, Sam said quietly. They're still here. I can feel them. All of them. Lisa and Colonel Winters watched in awe as light began to emanate from Sam's body. The Vreen guards backed away, their movements becoming erratic. The Queen thrashed in apparent pain. Impossible. Your species has no collective consciousness. We're connected by something you don't understand, Sam said, his voice stronger now. By love. By hope. By caring for each other even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Outside, the sound of fighting grew closer. Jack's team had pushed through to the hive. But inside the chamber, a different kind of battle was taking place. One fought with minds rather than weapons. The Queen's many limbs flailed as she struggled against Sam's mental assault. Dr. Carpenter collapsed to the floor, the alien influence fleeing from his body. Now, Sam shouted to Colonel Winters. She didn't hesitate. She threw the last enzyme canister directly at the Queen. It burst, spraying the clear liquid across the alien ruler's massive form. The Queen's scream was deafening, a psychic howl that made blood run from Lisa's nose and ears. The entire hive structure shuddered as if in sympathy with its ruler's pain. Then everything went silent. The silence lasted only moments before the hive structure began to shake violently. Pieces of the ceiling crashed down around them. The Queen lay immobile, her many limbs twitching. We need to get out, Colonel Winters shouted over the noise of the collapsing structure. Lisa ran to Sam, who stood perfectly still, staring at the fallen Queen. Sam, we have to go. Sam didn't move. His eyes were unfocused, as if seeing something far away. Not yet, he said. Something's happening. Throughout the hive, the Vreen were in chaos. Some ran in circles, others stood frozen in place. Without the Queen's guidance, they had no purpose, no direction. Dr. Carpenter stirred on the floor. Lisa knelt beside him, checking his pulse. He's alive. Colonel Winters helped the scientist to his feet. Can you walk? Dr. Carpenter nodded weakly. The Queen. She was in my mind, using me. He looked at Sam with wonder. The boy broke her. Control. How? Before anyone could answer, the wall of the chamber burst open. Jack stood there with what remained of his team, weapons ready. Lisa, Sam. Jack rushed forward, then stopped when he saw the fallen Queen. You did it? Sam did it, Lisa said. Somehow he connected with all the children the Vreen killed. Their memories, their spirits. I don't know how to explain it. Jack stared at the Queen in amazement. Is she dead? No, Sam said, finally turning toward them. But she can't hurt anyone now, and she understands. The building shook again, more violently this time. We can figure this out later, Colonel Winters said. Right now we need to evacuate. They made their way down through the collapsing hive structure. Outside, the sky had changed. The Vreen ships were rising, moving away from Earth. They're leaving, Jack said in disbelief. Not all of them, Sam replied. Look, in the rubble near the hive entrance, a small group of Vreen remained. Unlike the others, these moved with purpose, helping injured humans who had been caught in the fighting. I don't understand, Lisa said. Why would they help us? These ones chose to stay, Sam explained. They want to learn. Learn what? Colonel Winters asked suspiciously. How to care for each other, Sam said simply. How to be better. 3 months passed. The world slowly began to rebuild. Most of the Vreen had left Earth, returning to their home system. But as Sam had predicted, some stayed behind. They worked alongside humans, helping to repair the damage they had caused. Lisa returned to what remained of Children's Memorial Hospital. The East Wing was still rubble, but the West Wing had been restored. She worked there now, treating both human and Vreen patients. Dr. Carpenter had established a research lab in the basement, studying the peaceful coexistence of the two species. One morning, Lisa found Jack standing in the hospital garden. A small memorial had been built there, a wall with the names of all the children lost in the first attack. I come here every day, Jack said as Lisa joined him, to talk to Emma. Lisa touched his arm gently. She would be proud of you. Of what you helped accomplish. Jack nodded. Sometimes I feel like she can hear me. Sam says that's possible. Speaking of Sam, the boy had changed since the confrontation with the Queen. His cancer never returned, and his connection to the Vreen consciousness remained. He worked with Dr. Carpenter now, serving as a bridge between humans and the remaining aliens. Have you heard the news? Lisa asked. The International Council voted to establish permanent protection zones for children worldwide, special safe areas with advanced defense systems in case the Vreen ever return with hostile intentions. They won't, said a voice behind them. Sam approached, accompanied by a young Vreen. The alien was smaller than the warriors they had fought, with lighter coloring and gentler movements. This is Iya, Sam introduced his companion. She was just hatched when the Queen fell. She's different from the others. The young Vreen made a soft clicking sound that somehow conveyed respect. Iya's generation doesn't have the hive mind connection, Sam explained. They think for themselves. They're learning about compassion. Jack regarded the young alien cautiously. He still struggled to trust any Vreen. Iya has something to show us, Sam said. In the old hive structure. Later that day, they entered what remained of the main Vreen building. Most of it had been demolished, but the central chamber still stood. Inside they found something unexpected, a garden. Plants from both Earth and the Vreen homeworld grew together in harmony. In the center stood a simple monument made of the same material as the Vreen ships. On it were inscribed the names of all the children who had died in the attack, both in English and in Vreen script. Iya and the others made this, Sam explained. They wanted to understand why we care so much about remembering individuals. Lisa felt tears in her eyes. And do they understand now? They're learning, Sam said. Just like we're learning from them. Jack stepped forward and touched Emma's name on the monument. Will they come back? The others who left? Someday, Sam said, but not as conquerors, as friends. Colonel Winters, who had joined their group, looked skeptical. Not everyone will welcome them with open arms, not after what they did. No, Lisa agreed, but that's part of being human, finding the strength to forgive even when it's hard. That evening, a ceremony was held to dedicate the new children's wing of the hospital. It had been named the Emma Howard Memorial Wing in honor of Jack's daughter. Children from across the city attended, along with several young Vreen who had formed bonds with human families. As Lisa watched Sam playing with human and alien children, she thought about how much had changed in just a few months. The Vreen had come to destroy what they saw as weakness, humanity's compassion for its vulnerable members. Instead, they discovered that this very compassion was humanity's greatest strength. Jack stood beside her, watching the children. Do you think we'll ever really understand each other? he asked. Maybe not completely, Lisa said, but we'll keep trying. That's what humans do. Sam looked up from the game he was playing and caught Lisa's eye. He smiled, the same bright smile she remembered from their first meeting in the hospital before the world changed. In that smile, Lisa saw the future, a future where the differences between species became less important than what they could learn from each other. The Vreen had bombed a children's hospital, thinking they were eliminating weakness. Instead, they had awakened humanity's greatest strength, and in doing so, they had given both species a chance to become something better than either had been before. As night fell over the healing city, stars appeared in the sky, stars that were now bridges between worlds rather than distances to be feared. Humanity looked up at them not with dread of what might come from above, but with hope for what they might build together.